They said great things lie in my future, and I wasn't too optimistic until Octopath Traveler 2 dropped. Not only did it come with upgraded visuals, it also came with some great quality of life changes featuring the two most important ones: play options and game speed. No longer would I have to break my immersion into the story of the game because I have to click every single dialogue box. Now I can just press play, put my controller down, and let the story do its thing, which was my greatest pet peeve about the last entry. Not having a playthrough options and not having to click every single dialogue. Like, how is it that you have a jrpg with voice acting in a pixel game, which has never been heard of before, but no play options for the cutscenes? Like, make it make sense. But it's here now, and that's the important thing. Which brings to the second important change from play options is game speed. If you're into grinding, which some people say you shouldn't or you don't have to for Octopath Traveler, some people feel like grinding, but it was incredibly mentally challenging to grind in Octopath Traveler. But now it's gonna be a whole lot better and a whole lot sweatier. But these weren't the only good changes to come to the new game. They have now added day and night mode, which allows for different interactions for each character playable. For example, Warrior. In the daytime, he can choose to battle an opponent, but at nighttime, he can choose to bribe them instead, which allows for very interesting path actions for classes. As it's seen, the Warrior is supposed to be the honest and more frontal character, has now bribed, much like others such as the priest class and scholar, which also have interesting new path actions, and I'll leave that up to you to discover for yourselves. If they had stopped here, it would have been enough. These changes alone make a great impact into the game, but they didn't. They added even more, went above and beyond of what we needed, improved the game by leaps and bounds. They have now added latent power, sort of like an early game divine skill, which makes for interesting gameplay early on in the game and is going to make even more interesting gameplay even late game. Some say this can make the game easier, but I say it makes the game more fun, which allows for crazy combos with other classes and passive. Speaking of passives, there are now passives in classes now. Immediately as the battles start, you will have some classes that give you boost in stats, boost in power, and so on, which makes for another interesting variant of gameplay. One interesting passive is the changes that was made to the Hunter class. Hunter can now have a 25% chance of capturing a monster upon defeat, which is an amazing passive for the Hunter class itself. Not only that, the monsters you capture no longer have a limited charge. Any monster you capture is a permanent monster to summon to have an ability. And I think that is great. It makes me even look at the Hunter class favorably now. But those weren't the only changes made to the Hunter class. Along with several others, Hunter can now use her summon abilities to summon NPCs you've fed into battle, which I think is hilarious and great at the same time. Along with the others, which is priest, dancer, and merchant, can make a very interesting gameplay of having maybe a team of summoners and combo. But Hunter is not the only one to get these impressive quality of life changes to their classes. Priest, merchant, and dancer also got some major improvements. So much so that, considering my last video, even priests starting to look attractive as a class to me. And these are just what I uncovered in just the first chapters of all the characters alone. And it's just a tip of the iceberg of what the game has. This game is like Goku going Super Saiyan 3 for the first time. It has reached that level, and it's incredible. And maybe there'll be even more by the end of the game, which I'm hoping there is. And well, that is my impression of Octopath Traveler 2. Peace out, peace late.